tremendous looking trophy.
Hello, welcome to Platinum Explosion, #1 PlayStation podcast in the Oceanias for this bonus special episode to discuss this morning's Horzion Forbidden West State of Play. My name's Dylan Blight. Joining me, as always, Ashley Holby.
Hey Dylan, excited to be here to talk about Horzion Forbidden West. Horizon 2 Forbidden West. You see a little 2 in the symbol?
No, I didn't.
Logo?
Was there a little 2 in the logo?
Like the 2 little Roman
Oh, no, I did
lines?
not.
Yeah.
I did not know that. So does that mean they're changing the actual name to Horizon 2 Forbidden
No.
West?
It's just a subtle thing for
Okay.
people who like numbers.
Okay. Well, I like numbers, so
Yeah.
I can get behind this. So this morning, State of Play, it went for 20 minutes. It included 14 minutes of just straight gameplay for Horizon Forbidden West. The first time we've seen gameplay for Horizon Forbidden West. What were your thoughts on what we saw?
Fucking looks great, doesn't it?
Wow, it must be graphically impressive if you're inclined to point it out. Yeah, you want to get a 4K TV yet, or
no, not yet. It'll be fine. But yeah, it looks really pretty. Obviously, the first game was a bit more not as lush as this one. Fair to say, this is very much jungle and underwater and everything. So yeah, obviously it looks, but everything just looks pretty. I just quickly jumped onto YouTube onto the original reveal for Horizon Zero Dawn.
it's the opening training sequence, wasn't it?
No, it's the first time she fights the Thunderjaw. It was like the first reveal
Okay.
at one of the E3s. So I went back and watched that, and yeah, this is like way better looking. Yeah, it looks, like I said, looks incredible. Really loving the designs of all the new machines. Yeah, it looks like really cool what all the new shit that LA can do.
Yeah, very pretty, especially when they went underwater. It's hard to. I feel like that's
appreciate they said you get a diving mask, you can stay there as long as you want.
Yeah, thank God, because
is there anything anybody hates more than
underwater coming up
little
to
oxygen
and
thing dropping
yeah,
down?
no one wants that.
Nothing
Plus,
scarier.
I did have like a brain fart thought there at one stage where she went underwater, and I was expecting her to have to come up to breathe, but then I was like, wait, in the trailer from the PS5 thing, like nearly a year ago, we saw her having a breathing mask, so like
no,
that.
I didn't remember. So I just assumed she was holding her breath the entire time. I'm like, wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, no, they have that one
Until
shot
of
her like come past the camera, and she's got like one of those like breathing apparatus things in, which I presume all of this technology is like she finds in a, it's like another thing where it's like she'll find it in a fucking swimming goods store in San Fran or something. So, but it's an artifact now, and then she upgrades it, I guess. So it lasts forever. I don't know. Very pretty. I had, gameplay-wise, I was a little bit less impressed. That's my one takeaway. Only in the way that it was more of the same. I didn't really see any feature or thing that looked, I feel like they needed one key. I was hoping, maybe I was expecting one key thing in the gameplay department to sort of help stand this apart to the first one a bit more. Because watching this looks great, can't wait to play it. But it really is just like Horizon, more of Horizon. So it's like, if you like the first Horizon...
Oh no, what a shame that it's more of the thing that everybody loves.
Well, you say that, but for the people who didn't like the first one, didn't like the gameplay of the first one, I don't feel like
Did you not like the gameplay of the first one?
I'm saying for others, like you're not going to sell them.
For others?
Yeah.
These hypothetical others.
Well, there's people. There's people online. There was always people around the first one who were like, nah, the gameplay's boring. Got tedious. Got sick of it, So... that's my one little asterisk, is I don't feel like there was anything in the gameplay department that was showing off, like combat-wise and everything. Like, of course, there's little nuanced things. You got like a Lord of the Rings fucking, what do you call that thing?
Yeah.
Mammoth thing?
Yeah. I don't know what they.
But you're still taking it down the same way you took down enemies in the first game, which is just shooting out parts of it.
What do you expect?
I don't know.
That she's gonna
climb it?
Have a. She does kind of.
Nah.
There's a lot more verticality in this than there was in the previous one.
And then also, you made a funny tweet prior to this about if imagine if you could Zelda Breath of the Wild climb everywhere in this. It seems like that's not what they're doing. They've added a little bit more climbing to it where they say you can scan in an area and I'll add these like yellow lines to things that allow you to climb them. They've added a grappling hook or whatever. But you can only grapple hook to specific areas, it seems. The very like yellow points of interest or whatever, markings and this sort of stuff. So they've added a little bit more climbing, verticality and way to get around the map quicker. But again, that was a big, criticism / just thing that happened to be a point of discussion because Breath of the Wild came out at the exact same time. And now in the sequel, it seems
the only reason I said that was because, or tweeted that was because before the state of play, they were doing they had like the images.
Yeah, I only saw like the last
landscapes
5
and
minutes,
stuff.
So,
and there was one where it was like a scouting thing on top of the mountain. I'm like, how are you supposed to get up that? Unless you can climb up the mountain. Maybe you still can. You just have to scan first to get all the handholds.
Maybe, but that's not Breath of the Wild like free.
That's not Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, it's not what everyone would have been hoping for, wanting. Which I'm not saying that the game needed that to be good. I'm just saying it is like one of those things where coming into it, if you had asked me prior to gameplay reveal, like, what do you think the chances are they've got like pretty much free climb because of all the complaints that they had around the first one? I would have said it's more likely that they put a lot of effort into making that a thing, because that was like a big talking point of the first one. Like, oh man, and I remember we even talked about like, so of course Horizon Zero Dawn was like the first PlayStation game that came out when we launched this podcast, of course. And I remember talking about back there, it's like talking about getting the platinum and there being like several collectibles. It's like, it's on top of this mountain and I know exactly where it is, like on this little mound thing. But then you're like circling around this fucking thing, trying to find the exact point where you're allowed to climb it. Even though if you could, you can see like, it's just there. I just need to get, like, and that was so like tedious at times and annoying. So, I
just like every other video game before it.
Just saying. It is interesting though, because it seems they've taken some influence from Breath of the Wild, but maybe the wrong influence, because they've added the paraglider thing, which I mean every game seems to be doing since Breath of the Wild, to be honest, at this point. Like every fucking second game's like, we're gonna paraglide now. It's like, yeah.
Mario Kart introduced it first.
I mean, maybe little flying thing. So yeah, AI's got that. What was the other gadget we saw? There was one other. Or maybe that was it, was it?
It's got like a bow and arrow, like a zipline thing.
Zipline thing?
Yeah.
Where would she use that? That was that the
pulley? Like she shot an arrow and she like pulled herself forward.
Okay, yeah. I thought it was just like the grappling, seemed like grappling hook type thing.
Grappling hook or whatever, yeah.
So you got that, you've got the breathing apparatus, you've got whatever else is talking about, the other thing. And a different scan is the things they've showed off in this. Story-wise, I think it sounded like, even though I'm not 100% sure, it sounded like what I was watching was like early game, like opening of the game,
that was my
potentially. Which is interesting, because then it's also like, okay, well, if this is first couple hours maybe type thing, like very early into the game, she's already got the breathing apparatus, she's already got this grappling hook thing, she's already got upgraded scans.
All these arrows.
She's already got all the arrows, which honestly, I swear to God, if we'd started this game and they'd taken away all the different types of arrows and stuff that she got from the first game, I hate that shit so much. So I'm glad that that's
still happen.
It fucking annoys me.
Some of those are new, so I mean, maybe you still get the old ones.
New arrows to take down new enemies is fine, but if they're taking away some of the like basic shit from the first game that you spent, so it always annoys me when it's like it's a sequel, but also the character's forgotten how to like make these or so, like that sort of random shit. They did a decent job in the Batman Arkham games where they're always like, well, it's in his Batcave and he didn't think to bring it on this trip, so you got to go back and get it, sort of thing. So yeah, but Story wise, I feel like what they explained about the story, very surface level. There's obviously a lot more going on, but they explained that there's a blight traveling across the world, infecting everything with this like red tentacle shit or something, killing off everything it sort of touches.
Red vines or whatever.
Yeah, like this great plague basically traveling across the world, and it seems like Aloy is sort of like racing in front of it. She's in San Francisco. We're presuming for the whole game, but that's where the game starts at least. She's in San Francisco looking for a way to stop this. I don't know what you could be looking for to stop a great plague that seems to be traveling via a literal storm, but sure. Yeah. What do you make of the story and all that stuff? Because
I think super vague. So I mean, we don't know anything really. This was clearly just a gameplay focused state of play. So, but yeah, interesting. Obviously, it's set a fair portion of time after the events of the first game. It's cool. We got Arwen back. He was all right from memory in the first one.
Literally couldn't even remember him until someone I saw on Twitter was like, "That's a character." That was the thing apparently. So I was like,
yeah. So it'd be interesting to see if they cover how they got from Colorado, spoilers, over to San Francisco.
They do, and they'll say that neither of us have played.
No.
Maybe. We can't say for sure.
No. But yeah, I'm keen to see what they do, because obviously this first game was very much focused on very heavily focused on what happened to the old people, what happened to the civilization before, and that kind of stuff. So for this game to not be so focused on that will be interesting to see what direction the story and the lore goes.
The other thing I have is we have the big bad at the end of that. What's his face? I can't remember his name.
Lance Reddick.
Yep. Lance Reddick is the big bad guy, of course. Apparently he's in that DLC, the Frozen Wilds, that we've never played, or has an appearance in it or something like that. So very much seemed like that was going to continue, like, at least when they made that and the way the first game ends, it's like, he's the big bad. No mention of him in this. I don't think he caused the big bad plague, did he? Unless I missed that memo. Like, is that...
No, I don't think so, but, you know, he could be the one helping these rebels control the machines and that kind of stuff. So.
That's true. Yeah, because he would know how to... Yeah. That's how they learning. They didn't have the skills or technology. So, I don't know. The other thing that I was thinking, point out, is at the end, when they do that sort of paired up shot of, is it Aaron or Aaron?
Arwen.
Owen.
Arwen.
Okay.
I think.
Like AR. That's what we're going with. Arwen. You know who we're talking about. Old mate that Aloy saves. They have like, it almost was
old
like.
Handlebar mustache.
Yeah, that's the one. I was like, are you going to reveal this as a co-op game right now? But I mean, they still could reveal that there's a co-op mode to it. And I honestly wouldn't be surprised at this stage, because we have talked about previously that there was rumors that they wanted to do a co-op one or a co-op spin-off or all this sort of stuff. But I mean, you know what I mean? Like the way the camera sort of panned up and the both characters are standing there. I'm like, are you just about to be like Horizon 2? 2 people. There's a mode where you can play as, like, I don't know. I wouldn't be against that if it's kind of a separate thing, you know? Or like, you can launch it from within the game. Single player plays Aloy, co-op thing. Or maybe that explains how they got there, you know? Flashback. Co-op flashback mode. Story thing. I don't know. Anything else that stands out to you that you want to point out from the...
Very pretty.
Yes. The very pretty underwater stuff was the prettiest. Whoever worked on the underwater...
A lot more wildlife in this one.
Yeah, there was a... Yeah,
non-machine wildlife.
That's
and shit.
Definitely going to be... That's definitely a PS5 feature. I can guarantee when someone compares this to the PS4 release, eventually they're going to be like, look how much shit they had to take out, like all this sort of shit. Like, the other thing I was thinking was how good her hair looked, both in when she was just running around on land, the way it was like sort of flowing and moving, but then also when she's underwater, they've nailed that water hair look. I don't know how else to describe it. You know what I'm talking about? If you know what I'm talking about, like that water hair look type thing, where it's just the underwater.
Wet hair look.
Yeah, got wet hair look. The one thing I was sort of disappointed by was on the video here where I have it up here. When she gets out of water, like shake off animation or something. Yes, come on,
She ain't got time for that.
But yeah, otherwise, I thought it was good. Good first look. Very pretty. As I said, I have my one little thing that I'm hoping we can see more of in the future. Just I want like one big difference or something. And maybe we won't get it because it's a PS4, PS5 game and it's not that major leap. Maybe that's why. I don't know. Maybe it's because it is a cross thing that we won't get any big major changes. I don't know. Oh, the other thing I was going to say is compared to the first game, you got the first game sort of had those almost like biomes. It's like this area is this color, this area is like a lava area, this area is a bit more like a desert area. You know what I mean? They had those sort of different sections to the map. Given what we're seeing here, where it's like it's underwater or it's forest, I'm wondering how much, like if that is the game, or they're gonna be like,
no. Based on some of the images before the state of play, it looks like there's a lot of desert and that kind of stuff as well. So, yeah, I wish they'd opened up the map at some point, but it's like, how big a world is it?
Yeah, I don't think we'll learn that for quite some time, but yeah, desert. Just
well, is that something interesting that they didn't give a release date?
Oh yeah, that is the last point we should have brought up actually. Yeah, I was expecting a release date, or if there was no official release date, I was expecting them to at least end with still Horzion Forbidden West 2021 to like sort of go, hey,
confirm,
still coming. Instead, nothing. No 2021, no release date, no month, no season, no nothing. Old mate in it though did say we look forward to talking about these features closer to the day or whatever. And I don't know, like I'd find it weird for them to do this data play gameplay reveal if it isn't coming out later this year at this stage.
Yeah. So Guerrilla tweeted out, "Thanks for watching our Horzion Forbidden West gameplay reveal. We don't have an exact release date just yet, but development is on track, and we'll have an update for you very soon. Thank you as always for your ongoing support."
Maybe if you want to read between the lines, on track means for the original plan of 2021. If you want to,
yes, that's what I would think. Yeah, I think it's still 2021, but it's still relatively early in the year, and there are a lot of games that still don't have dates. So it's like maybe post E3 when they know what else is in the marketplace, then they'll lock something down.
I think they're really just waiting for Nintendo to announce Breath of the Wild 2's release date. So
it's like we don't want to go head to head.
They're really just waiting for Nintendo to go first on this one. So yeah, I mean they could be waiting till after E3. Hell, PlayStation could be planning a E3 state of play type showcase for the later half of E3.
Summer Games Fest.
Summer Game Fest, yeah. And they could just be waiting for that to drop a trailer, and by then maybe they expecting to hear some more rumblings if they're particularly trying to dodge anything or whatever. I don't know. But also game development, they literally could maybe just need a week to make sure the date they want to lock in is fine, or the month or whatever. I don't know. It's the weird, wonderful world. All right, cool. That was it for the Horzion Forbidden West gameplay state of play gameplay reveal. Fun times. Watch it all online if you haven't already. It's very pretty. If you watched it on your phone this morning while I was laying in bed because you had to wake up early, I suggest watching it on a bigger TV because it's very pretty and deserves your...
understandable, though.
Yeah, I mean, look. God, are you a true gamer?
You put the phone close enough to your face, it looks pretty.
No, that's not... Oh my God, that's not how it works.
That's how it works.
That's not how it works. Let us know all your thoughts on Twitter or Discord. SpaceJump.com/Twitter for our Twitters. SpaceJump.com/Discord for our Discords. And make sure you subscribe if you're not already, and then come back for our regular episodes on every Wednesday. So stay tuned for that one. Until then, every trophy counts.